Cooking channel today. Today, I'm going to show the garden, everything busting up, growing. One thing you want to be careful of though is right now, the weeds are growing also. So I'm going to talk a little bit about weed control, of how I do it here. First thing, you got just a regular hoe. Now this is a little bit different. It's not your traditional hoe, but it's a hoe that you should use a lot for farming cotton or whatever. It does work pretty good if you need to take out a big, big plants or whatever. But the problem here is a lot of times your soil is wet, so this doesn't work very well. Also, they need to be sharp, and most people don't know how to sharpen a hoe very well. So that's first hoe. This hoe here is called a hoop hoe. I do like it. The knock on this one is it doesn't cover a lot of ground very quickly, but it does cut up under the roots pretty well. So if you got, let me lay this thing down. So if you're coming along here and you see a weed, back up a little bit. Got a new cameraman, so you see a weed like that, you just go underneath it, it cuts it off. It works well, but you've got to get the weeds when they're small, all right? Doesn't cover a lot of ground very quickly, but if you just, like you've got a raised bed or something of that nature, they work really well there. This would work well on the sides, like over here. We got a bunch of weeds on the sides. You can just go on the sides. And all you gotta do is break that up, go underneath it, it cuts the roots. As long as you can get a rainfall, the next day or so, you're okay. All right? And really, you kind of want to rough it up all the way, because when you rough it up, we're gonna see if the volume's bad. I apologize, got the new cameraman, so I don't have a mic on. Sometimes I forget to look into the camera. So let me repeat what I said. You're roughing up the sides of it like that, and you want to keep roughing it up like that, and you're killing all the little bitty weeds that have not even emerged yet. Weeds have a hard time germinating on rough ground. They like to be nice and smooth, like these are here, to grow. I do leave these strings here so I know where the watermelons are, vines are. And I've noticed down here we don't have very many. We got plenty up over there, so we'll still be okay. Watermelon is always one you do not want to let the weeds get away from you. I'll set over there. Because if you let them get away from you, there's really not a good way to kill the weeds once the vines start running. So you want to keep the weeds down as best you can. And this is where I'm growing my watermelon vines. All right. So this here is a Haas wheel hoe, and it'll stay there. And it does a good job of roughing up the soil, and it'll also kill the small weeds that's out there like that. And once you do that, there's not any weeds that are going to come back in while I do this then. It's really easy at this stage when you don't have a lot of weeds. Now, of course, normally I'd go all the way down, I'd be pointing the other way, but when you get fairly close, this is a single wheel hoe. With a single wheel hoe, you have more control over it. A double wheel hoe, the good thing about it is you can change these attachments down here and run down the center of the row. And it does a better job for that. But I opted for the single wheel hoe because they were a little cheaper. Now these things are not cheap. They run a fair amount of money. If you'll back up, I get out of this. And so they're not, they're going to cost, I didn't look it up, $200 or $300, but to me they're worth it. If you don't have that, your alternative really is get one of those little mantis tillers and till it up. I don't like gas powered stuff because it seems like you're always having problems with it. This thing here, you're not ever going to have to spend time trying to fix it because it fixes itself. If I need to change attachments, it's going to be a 5 or 10 minute operation at most. So that's why I like it. But I've always me and gas powered stuff doesn't get along very good. I do okay with cars, but once it starts getting down, I got a generator, I've done a pretty good job to keep it running. But lawnmowers, especially your 2-cycle engines, we just don't coach you very good. But that is another example. And I knew when I started this, that's what I was going to have to do. So right now, everything's looking good, but let's go down. Well, let's now go out and look. Put this over here and get it out of the way. Kind of how things how things are going. The potatoes are over here. This here is the purple potatoes, Purple Majesty. They're purple inside and out. I've kept the weeds down fairly well. I did put a little bit of mulch down. That was trying to keep them from getting freeze damage. It worked, kind of. These here are my Yukon Gold. They were planted later and have done better because they didn't get the freeze damage that the other ones did. So did we screw up by planting early? This year, probably. But a normal year, you still want to plant these around February 15th. Unless you're seeing you're going to have a big rainstorm and it's going to make them rot. I do like having these up on a ridge, and then I can throw some more dirt on top of it. I want to keep them out of the water table. If I plant them flat and then throw the ridge on top of them, it causes me problems because I've noticed in this spot here especially, if you had a problem with them rotting, you want to get them up out of that water table and they won't rot as bad. The ones that rot bad are the ones that's deep in the soil. Over here we have the onions. I've not done as good job on the onions of keeping the weeds out, but they're not real bad. They have not grown very well this year. I faced the camera. I've gotten out of that because I've gotten used to having the mic. But anyway, I'm going to have to just train him up on how to use the mic camera so we'd be better off. But on this here, they're growing. They're not really bubbling up. Some people will spoon them. They'll take the dirt around it. To me, it takes time to do that. Does it work? Yes. But I've got other things I'm wanting to do. So it's one of those things that works. Is it worth the time for me? No, but for other people, sure. If you got a small garden, it's worth doing. And by spooning it, you just take the dirt and knock away from the bulb. This one here, you want to take the dirt. You see, there's where the bulb is on an onion. Just do it like that. That way the onion does not have to, because the onion itself does not have to be underground. But that way that onion can grow better. It's not being restricted by the soil, especially if you have heavy soil. I don't have heavy soil, so I think I'll be okay. But some people do that. Does it work? Yes. But that would just take me, like I say, it didn't take very long, but I've also got to control the weeds in here. So, and I actually tried to control the weeds up through here one day, but these weeds here are starting to get away from you. And if I don't do something here in the next week or so, they're going to get away from me. So I will come in here and clean this up. It doesn't take a whole lot. The wheel hoe does have a knife attachment. That's about that wide. Yeah, I can go in there and cut underneath these weeds if I need to. But after the rain, everything is really going to start. It wasn't near this bad a couple of days ago. Over here is the cucumbers. Trying to go real quick. The cucumbers are coming up. I did not tag them. Last year, the mole crickets ate everything up. And we still got one mole cricket here, but he can get into the cucumbers. Here is the crimson, excuse me, the crimson sweet watermelons. This row is the orange glow watermelons, I believe. This row here, I may have to go back in video, I might be wrong. I think it was a crimson sweet orange glow cross that I grew here. And this one here, sweetie. It was another watermelon. Like I said, I'm gonna have to label these for long. And this here was a Florida giant, so I'm gonna let it go crazy. And I'll mow that down. I've got to pick up all the stakes out of there before I mow. But anyway, that's those there. Now we're gonna go over and see the other side of the garden. Over here, I didn't really talk about this one. I'm not gonna do tomatoes. We done a video on the tomatoes, even though they are growing a lot since the last video. Down here is the Haas Green Blaze beans. Didn't get a real good start there, but they're doing okay, and I got a good stand right there. You're seeing a lot of weeds. Those weeds weren't there 2 or 3 days ago. Before the rain, I had this cleaned up pretty good, but that's just so you have to keep after it on your weeds. Usually my cameraman's got to walk backwards. Now I've got to. Here's the corn. Stay out of. Now this here is what I use to make the rows for the corn when I'm going to plant them. And I've got another variety planted here. They have not sprouted up yet. It's going to be the Hickory King variety. It gets really tall. I planted these later so they won't cross pollinate. I'm hoping it works. I probably pushed it about a week, maybe more than I should, since we got a cold snap on these, so it set them back. But you know, I'm pushing limits, but if they do cross pollinate, I'm going to use them for flower corn anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So let's walk down the center aisle here. And we got, say this corn here is doing pretty well. I was able to get a little bit of fertilizer on it. Hopefully they're going to do better. You always want to keep your corn lush and growing. You don't want it to stall out. You don't want it to suffer from not enough water. I did put additional water on this because you want them to grow, you know, consistently. If they don't, you're going to have a worse crop. But this was a May corn, but it's an open pollinated corn, and it's kind of made to be drought resistant. So I wasn't quite as worried about it, but still. Over here is the squash, and you know, this here is going to be the 8-ball squash growing here. This here is the moonbeam squash, the scallop squash growing there. This middle row, I just planted it to cantaloupes. Stay here, I'm going to go look. Okay, come here a little bit. There's the cantaloupes coming up right there, and one right there. So at least I know the seeds were good. I had all this all cleaned out, no weeds in it. Weeds are starting to come in there. I did on the store-bought seeds. I planted that row there. I had 2 rows of, I think this row is the lima beans. The other 2 rows are cranberry beans, or you know, a type of pinto beans. I got 2 up. So sometimes your store-bought beans may not do that great. I got one coming up here. It might have got too dry. I don't know, but I did water them fairly well. But we'll see. I mean, they still got time. I say that. They got probably to the end of the week. If they're not doing anything by the end of the week, I want to go back and replant with some other beans. But I'm not big on doing store-bought beans because you don't know how old those beans are, so they may not get good germination. Some people it works. So far, these have not worked that well, but you know, give it a try. I've seen the beans; they look really pretty. We'll see how they do. But anyway, that's the video for today, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.